Hello, my name is Panteha Abareshi, and I'm one of the artists included in this show, Second Body, opening today at Fuglsang Museum. And I'm here from the United States, and I'm so happy to be here. I have two sculptural works in the show. The first one I can talk about is called An Immeasurable Anomaly, and it's a hanging piece. So there's an armature that's been created by the installation team so that it can be suspended from the wall. It's a piece that's about, well, in the visual and figurative sense, about weight or about pressure or about burden. The piece features a pelvic bone that's suspended, and this sort of system of like chains and hooks and hanging armatures, and then an additional weight, a ball that hangs down below it. In my practice, when I think about the body and I think about conjuring the body in an installation context, I've come to a place where I really am fixated on this idea of denying the disabled body a sort of wholeness in its representation, to align with this idea that in one sense the disabled body is denied a corporeal wholeness just in the way that it is perceived, in the way that it is handled, in the way that it is forced to move through the world. I'm really interested in this line between the legible and the illegible body, and what that means for me, navigating my own legibility as a sick and disabled body. This work was really significant for me in this line of thinking of illegibility versus legibility, because I'm really pleased with that line that it sort of teeters on here, where there are very clear anatomical indicators. You look at the piece and most people can immediately recognize a human bone. It's at scale, it's to scale of a female pelvis. And yet it is sort of stripped of any other notion of the body. It's completely disembodied, really, and then hung up in the air in this way that it sort of defies anatomy in any other way. And it is reduced down to a pure exhibitionism. There's no tenderness, there's no care here. It is amidst a quite industrial framework. The scaffolding that they've created here for it to hang from is a blunt metal armature, and it is hung from chains that are industrial strength, with a mariner's hook, with an industrial scale, and all of these things are sort of callously rubbing up against the body, the whisper of a body. And then the inclusion of this sort of fetish weight in the work connects to, in my work, a sort of examination of then how the disabled body moves into or exists inherently within a space of fetishization. How there is something inherently fetishizing in the exhibition of bodies in this way. This is an inherently fetishistic exhibition of this piece of the body. My work is not about the disabled person. It is about the disabled body. And it is such an important distinction to make in every regard, because when we're talking about such a violent, steadfast, sort of structurally integrated, societally integrated, linguistically integrated, oppressive sort of handling, the body does become a motif. The disabled body exists first as symbol before it exists as a collective of individuals, or as an individual person that is sort of allowed and seen as a whole person, a real person, a true person, an autonomous person. And so my work is very fixated on like the disabled body, like capital T, capital B, the body as like an object, because I'm so interested in how we as humans sort of handle the corporeal thing as a thing, as an object, and how it is so interesting what happens, so devastating but so interesting what happens in these de-autonomizing dynamics of power between the able body and the disabled body, between the doctor and the patient, between the caregiver and the ward. And these dynamics are not foreign. So many people are entrenched in these dynamics, and yet disability is taboo. Illness is taboo. The experience is taboo. Children see a disabled person on the train and they point and they ask, because it is taboo. Because you are a disruptor in that space, because the space is hostile. Not just the architectural space in this sense, the societal space, the social space, the intimate space, the space of caregiving. And so the body is being handled or manhandled constantly. And so in my work, the way that the body has appeared has really changed over the years.